much like high school. Paul ignored me this morning. I should have said the girls in high school.
See, to my mind, you ignored me this morning.
I know.
I was like, do I call his wife? What do I do here?
I mean, you could have. She would have probably been more confused. But then understanding when she's like, oh, technology broke? How unusual. Because that's...
no, the doofus is right here next to me. Would you... Just how my wife would have responded as well. So
Paul was trying to communicate to me, and the messages were quite literally arriving, but I could not send anything back to him because they were lost.
This is the classic. I left an iPhone. I did everything I thought I was supposed to do to make sure iMessage was turned off and everything. And you have to do FaceTime. It's
Hotel California.
Did it all.
Anyways, nobody really knows what's going on with OpenAI.
No.
So, as a recap from yesterday, which is now outdated news, Sam Altman was a Microsoft employee, and then Microsoft, more specifically Satya Nadella, went and did interviews with like Kara Swisher, Bloomberg, and CNBC, and all the information that came out made it sound like maybe he really isn't an employee yet. And
I mean, the Viva onboarding process takes some time. I'm sure that was part of it. Well, obviously, the ideal situation would be the entire board at OpenAI resigns and he comes back and everyone comes back. And that's what everyone kind of wants to happen, except, I guess, the board. But it seems like it's going to be forced on him. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. Anyways, adding to that, Kevin Scott, who is the CTO of Microsoft, tweeted out this morning. He says, pretty much saying like, Sam is an employee, is the way I would interpret this, because he says, to my partners at OpenAI, we have seen your petition and appreciate your desire to potentially join Sam Altman at Microsoft's new AI research lab. And he goes on, which makes it sound like, again, he's an employee. So he's really just Schrodinger's Microsoft employee, right? I mean,
look, we don't have all the information. We could be wrong, but I feel like Microsoft kind of wins here either way, you know? If Sam Altman doesn't go back to OpenAI, it seems like most of their employees are going to quit.
Yeah.
And then they're going to come to Microsoft and work from there. Or the board resigns at OpenAI and he goes back and everyone just stays there and the partnership continues, right?
Yeah. Or Microsoft puts in a more friendly board and they become an actual for-profit entity.
Sorry, I should have added that. That will happen, right? So if the board resigns, I mean, Sam Altman's made it very clear they need a governance change over there, and that would include Microsoft having a seat on the board, I bet, maybe even two. I mean, they own 49%, don't they?
Yeah, but of that one entity that can generate revenue or whatever it is, like, who knows?
Right.
I suspect that he will end up back at OpenAI is kind of my...
I think it's in the balance. I mean, I think that's what people want. Again, other than those people who are on the board, right? But we'll see. There was a late night something yesterday where someone from the company said, "Look, whatever's going to happen isn't happening today." So, last night. So it seems like today's going to be the day. You know?
Is it?
Well, I don't know.
I mean, I mean that not rhetorically, because we don't.
No, we really don't know. There's no way to know. How would we know?
I mean, Sam's been.
It could be any minute, all day long. It's like, check your feed, and it's like something's going to happen. I feel like that's going to be today.
Yeah, I mean, it is. It is. We do have one more episode for tomorrow. I guess we can drag this on for one more episode before Thanksgiving. So we'll save that for whatever. Because to your point. Sam Altman is neither an OpenAI employee or really a Microsoft employee. I don't know. It's fascinating.
I'll tell you, the guy was not unemployed for long. I'll give him credit. One way or the other.
Oh, the other thing that came up, this is what I meant to bring up while I was stuttering through my brain not working, is I think it was the information got a scoop that, so the guy that is now currently the interim CEO of OpenAI was their third choice.
After Nat Friedman.
Yeah, they wanted Nat Friedman, which, like, hearing that, like, actually,
he's the GitHub CEO, isn't he?
No, he left. He was Microsoft, and then he's now, I believe, all out on his own, isn't he?
Oh, I don't. I thought he was he either is or was the CEO of GitHub.
I thought
he was
left.
previously in the .NET or dev,
Yeah.
what wasn't he? Or did he come with?
He was wasn't he part of Xamarin? Xamarin got acquired. He was running that.
That's what it is. Yeah,
and then I thought he left. Okay. It doesn't matter. But actually,
we could just look it up.
Nah. Yeah, why do that? But Nat Friedman actually would make a pretty darn good.
He was the CEO of GitHub.
Yeah, he would. I think he'd actually make a great OpenAI CEO. But that's not the point. Like, but it's like, can you imagine if you're the interim guy and it's like, oh, I was the board's third choice, and I'm only going to be here for 48 hours, and everybody else, nobody likes me here, and.
I mean, that's what Tom Brady was once. That worked out okay.
Yeah, no,
Speaking of which, yikes.
I mean, he won a Super Bowl down there.
I'm talking about your quarterback.
I mean, it's not worked out so well for Belichick for the long term.
I'm talking about your quarterback.
What?
He hurt his hand throwing a football.
No, Joe Burrow got hurt being tackled, and then that.
Oh, it happened. Okay.
Supposedly, that's the thing.
Because the video, I could see it in a bar, and it was like,
that was him on the sidelines after he hurt his hand, trying to see if he could play through the rest of the game. And yeah, no, he tore a ligament. Whatever. It doesn't matter. Football is bad. I am emotionally damaged and drained, and
he's the reincarnation of Chad Pennington. Wow. This was a guy who was so fragile. If you looked at him wrong, one of his bones would snap.
Yeah,
I thought he was going to throw his arm off of his body in one game. He was like, I don't know what happened to that guy. But anyway, I hope he's okay. I know it's...
I mean, he's done for the season, so it's not like we just signed him for $250 million. And he gets signed for $250 million.
Bench warmer.
He's good when he's healthy.
Too. Does he look young to you? Does he seem like really young to you?
He is. I mean...
Yeah. He looks like he's in middle school.
I mean, he graduated college, 3 years ago, something like that? So he's 25?
I assume high school students pants him on a regular basis before they realize who he is.
I don't
know why I was turned into this. I'm sorry.
I got nothing for that. Nothing.
I made this comment to my wife, and I said, I got to ask Brad about this because you're younger than I am, and maybe to you he just looks like he's a normal age, but he seems really young.
He's probably 12 years younger than me, which is...
I was watching like a Penn State, I guess he was the quarterback, give a little after game talk. I'm like, what is it, like bring your kid to school day or something? Like bring your kid to work day, whatever. Like that person looked like a child, like
some of them are though.
Literally a child,
You could be starting in college football at 18.
I know, yeah, but he looked like he was 12. I mean, It was. I'm getting old, man.
Anyways, I don't know where.
Sorry, I didn't mean to sidetrack this.
Anyways, I did watch football last night. It was nice to see Mahomes lose. Although, I'll get off this bent. It's not Mahomes' fault. Mahomes should be very angry this morning because he did a fantastic job of hitting all his receivers in the hands, and they just couldn't catch him.
Yep. Yep.
So,
anyways. Well, you hate to see those guys get down. Todd. That's all I'm gonna say. Todd.